Hey everybody, I'm Song, and today I'm going to share with you a couple of 3D human anatomy apps that will help a ton. Sometimes googling human reference anatomy may not help as much because the poses, they give, the lighting, sometimes it just doesn't agree with you. So there's this couple of apps that is really helpful, and it is perfect for all kinds of artists. Graphic novels, portraits, caricature, concept artists, etc. I will go through with you how the app works, but for now I just want to introduce to you the following apps. Number 1, Artpose. Artpose comes in two applications, the male anatomy and the female anatomy. The male anatomy costs like about 10 ringgit, that roughly amounts to about $2 plus, but the female app is slightly higher, about 11 or 12 ringgit if memory serves me right. It shows the muscular structure of the human anatomy and illuminates it wonderfully with the control angle of light. You can control the pose, the weight of the person, his or her hands, the hairstyles, although that one can be a little bit limited, brightness, color balance, and a little more. They also have a vast library of poses to choose from if you don't want to create your pose from scratch. As it is, I am ecstatic at the results. It serves as a very good guide. The lighting can only be adjusted on the top of the model, like natural sunlight, the lighting is coming from this direction or the side direction. However, it does not accommodate a light source from below. So for example, if you're like painting a scene and the person is reading a book and the light source is coming from below because of the lamp, it does not help with that. I felt the feature of being able to change their hand pose is freaking amazing. However, if I were to be critical, if they had that for facial expressions, that would be a big bonus. The male version has a lot less hairstyles compared to women. I mean, I know women are more particular about their hairstyles, but I'm pretty sure men can accommodate more hairstyles than that. Like the man has like 3 hairstyles to choose from, the female has 6. A little bit more could be better. Another thing about this app that kind of surprised me was the fact that you can actually adjust the weight of the person. So for example, if it's a male, he can actually be a lot bulkier, like a heavyweight champion, or he can be really scrawny. Same goes for the females. She can be very voluptuous, or she can be really skinny. So that really surprised me. But these are kind of like superhero bodies. I actually find that painting fat people is a lot more challenging than superhero bodies. So if it would be interesting if they could accommodate, fat people or anorexic people, just like the extreme, it helps. Oh, and not to mention old age. I find a real challenge drawing old people, all the wrinkles. Those are the only drawbacks I can think of, but even then I don't really think of them as drawbacks, more like suggestions to create a new app for that. Like for example, an app for old people, children, you can add on facial expressions, stuff like that. So for me, I don't really think of them as drawbacks. Even me mentioning this is really trying to find flaws in this app, because for the amount that I paid for this, it actually delivered a whole lot and more. Personally, I think. My advice, if you do a lot of human drawings and you need help in the 3D department, I would definitely recommend to get this app. Second app is Skelly. This app was created by the artist Stan Prokopenko. He is really talented and he makes a good teacher. You can actually follow him on Facebook. He provides a ton of tutorials and he makes it so easy for you to understand that it kind of makes drawing humans easier. You can go to his website and go premium, and I think that is a good choice because the way he does it, he also sells in packages, so you can get a lot of reference photo for humans because he has models that he take photos of, and he kind of categorize it very neatly. Like for example, the human face, because faces are very intricate, so he will kind of subcategorize it to eyes, nose, mouth, things like that. It's very organized for you already. And the one thing that I love the most about this, it is a one-time payment. Gosh, I love one-time payments. I don't like monthly, It's like you gotta pay one time, boom. He made this app as a reference to the human anatomy. And as you well know, everybody's body size is different and can vary a great deal. Skinny, normal, fat. However, skeletons remain more or less the same. Prokopenko explains that there are landmarks around the human skeleton that are more or less the same between body sizes. So this kind of serves as a guide. No matter if you're drawing fat people, skinny people, normal people, these landmarks are more or less always the same. And this kind of helps you as a guidance in proportion of the human, and you can train yourself to kind of draw it without even looking at a reference photo. That is kind of like his method of teaching. So his 3D app is actually a skeleton, and then there's a simplified version called the Robo Skelly. You can change the background color, which is really good because it kind of gives this vast contrast. I like to go with the black background because I can see the model much clearly. I love the lighting. It has a very nice glow to it, and the rim lighting is really nice as well. And it can accommodate any angle you like. So if you want your light source from the bottom, no problem. He can do that. At its birth, the app didn't actually have a pose library, but upon updates, now it has a pose library which you can actually select. And the good part is some of the skeletal poses are the same as the models that he photographed as those reference photos that he provided. So you can actually kind of practice yourself from a skeletal position how, if you were to draw yourself without a reference, how close can you get? Or, use the reference as help. So you can just, slowly learn to kind of draw a human all by yourself. However, it's only a skeleton. There's no meat, there's no skin. It's very basic. It was the first app I got as a 3D anatomy reference, and it cost about 25 ringgit when I got it. That's like about $6 around there. So at first I thought it was reasonable, and then I found Artpose, and then I paid slightly cheaper for Artpose for both genders, and it kind of, gives a lot more than Skelly does. So I found myself using Artpose a whole lot more than Skelly. However, in a way, you can say that this app does not spoon feed you too much. It does not help you rely too much on a 3D reference, or all references for that matter. I mean, in my opinion, you would always require reference photos, but in this case, I think the Skelly app kind of like teaches you to not rely so much on reference photos. So that's all the apps I can recommend for you guys. I've tried Android, the free apps, and yeah, it's nothing spectacular. It doesn't really provide as much as these paid contents. And if you're drawing humans very often, I would definitely recommend you get either or both of these apps. So if you guys have any comments, or you guys know any other 3D app that you can share with us, please feel free to share it down in the comments below. Or any advice you can give us, please feel free to share with the community. If you guys like this kind of video, please hit the like button. It's the fastest way of letting me know, and I will try to deliver more videos on art reviews and stuff. My very first video was an unboxing of Wacom CTL471. You can see how crappy my production was back then. That was like 2 years ago. So these are the 3 apps that I use for a 3-dimensional human anatomy reference. This first two is by Artpose, and the third one is Skelly by Stan Prokopenko. So if you follow him, he does great tutorials on human references, on human anatomy. Go check him out, it's really good. So he developed this app called Skelly, and I will show you what it is in a minute, but first off, I'm going to show you guys Artpose first. The grayish blue color is for male anatomy, whereas the pink one is for females. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys the male. So this is the app. It took a while to load. And I think it's really good. I'm using a Nexus 7 for this, and I think it's really good to have a tablet for this, because doing it on a smartphone, I think it's a bit too cramped. So you have to go to their site to kind of know how to use it. It takes a while to use the settings, but this lever here, it kind of plays with the angle, so you can have like a close-up angle, kind of like a portrait, or more of like a fisheye lens kind of thing. And to zoom, you have your normal pinch to zoom. So I'm going to zoom in, and you're going to use 2 fingers to move around the scene. And you can move. Number 1, of course, is super awesome because it's 3D and it has all the lights. And you can see that there is a lot of muscular structure here, which is awesome. And just to show you guys a bit, on the right hand lever is to adjust how skinny or beefed up you want your guy to be. So this is like a bodybuilder, this one looks like a nice scrawny teenager kind of thing. So this is kind of like in between that. And you have like this bottom corner here, you can pick the anatomy icon, and you kind of have all these preset poses for you, which is very convenient. So there's a lot to choose from, of course, besides customizing it yourself. So as you can see, you have a lot of these anchor points. The left hand lever is to adjust the angles, to pinch or zoom, stuff like that, to move around. The right hand one is to move the muscular structure. So you can see that there is a lot of anchor points around. So you can click on the head, and then you kind of move him up. You can click on the elbow here, and then you can bring the arm down. Now, I think this is very useful because, especially when it comes to muscles, sometimes we just don't know how to gauge how the muscles work. But of course, this being anatomical, it's 3D rendering, it's not really like human posing for you. So sometimes it's not so accurate, like maybe right here, the way how its elbow goes, it just kind of goes in its flesh, it's not properly rendered. But for the most part, I guess it's very good to use as a reference. Of course, you can't have everything handed to you on a silver platter, but considering, this is pretty awesome. And you can also adjust the lighting, so the top corner here, and you can click this ball. This kind of adjusts the lighting for you. And I would say that it's awesome because you get to see the different tones at different lighting, so it kind of plays with the angles. However, I do have a complaint, is that it only shines from the top. You can't go at the bottom. And another good thing here, you can see this little muscle icon here. You can see the muscular structure, which I think is kind of good for your own reference as well, just to know how all the muscle goes, just to kind of understand it a little. And you can also change it to gray color just to get a better contrast. And then you can have the silhouette, just to see how it goes, just to see whether it has much impact on your art. Then you can also have this kind of like a comic line art style as well. And then you have the 3D ball here. And you can also play with the hair as well. So you have different hairstyles, not many, but enough to show you how it should look like. Short hairstyles, no mustache or beard or other facial hair, just head hair. You can also play with the lightness and darkness, how light you want, how dark. You can also play with the color balance here, so you can just change it. Like if you're in a nightclub, you got different kinds of colors going on, so yeah, you can play with that as well. So all these are kind of like presets, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't really play with that, so I can't really tell. This right here, this camera icon is for your screenshot, and the question mark is your hints, so you can understand what's going on. There's also a save, so you click on the hand icon. Okay, wait, let me just go back. So you just click on the hand icon here, then you have this down icon, so that is to save. So I have, wait, not this one, second one, because I already saved in the first slot. So let's say demo. Changes demo. Alright, so if I want to upload it, I'll go to the left hand corner and you can see this. So this is upload, this is download. Get it? So first I have the one that I did just now, so I'm gonna upload this. This is the one I was doing. I wanted to do like he's reading a book or something. So demo is the one that I saved just now, so I'm gonna click on demo. So this is the one we saved, and that's all I can think of to let you guys know. And the female one is going to be much similar. I mean, it's going to be similar as well, the mechanics and everything, just that it's a different sex. So I'm just going to go ahead and head over to the female one. This is the female edition, so you'll be greeted with this information page. Same goes to the male one if you haven't accessed it before. So everything is pretty much the same. You have this all the panels, all the same things, so I'm not gonna go through them again, but I just want to show you well, obviously this is a female anatomy, and I want to show you the different hairstyles. So you have, I think for females there's a lot more hairstyles. I don't know why. Maybe because females are just much more stylish, I suppose. So you have long hair, medium hair, short hair, kind of like your 1980s hairstyles as well. 2 ponytails. So you can see the female one, there is a lot of other hairstyles compared to the male. The male only have 3 hairstyles. So yep, that's it. It's pretty much everything the same, so I'm not gonna go through it again. So I'm gonna go over to Skelly now. This is Skelly, and I usually like my background black so I can see the contrast with the skeleton better. And I like this a lot because number one, well, you know, if you ever feel like doing a little Halloween and you want some skeleton reference, you can totally use this as well. And you also have Robo Skelly, kind of make things simpler instead of looking at all the bones and rib cages and stuff. I think that can confuse people, so Robo Skelly is kind of like a simplified version of that. So you can go back to the skeleton here. So to control that, it's your bottom left hand corner. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? To control the lighting, it's your bottom right corner. And I like this because it can go anywhere. When I say anywhere, it means if you want the bottom to be lighted up as well, you can do that. So I think that is very nice. You can kind of go, so you can do the same. So you kind of pinch to zoom and pinch out, kind of thing like that. And then you use 2 hands to just kind of bring it up. So you can see if I were to adjust the lighting. Alright, so if I adjust the lighting coming from this way, it has a beautiful rim lighting around the side here. So if I go the other way, so the lighting is now at the back, but it has a very nice rim lighting here. It's very beautiful. It kind of looks like I don't know, it kind of looks very soft, like moonlight. So I like that. And you have a pose library, kind of same thing, like people from before, they have, oops, sorry, my tablet's a little laggy. So kind of like before, you have all these other presets, and you can go ahead and click them, and you load to any one of those poses. So if you do a pose already, you can save right here. You can save pose, or you know, you can share pose as well. So that's some of them. So you can reset pose, and you'll go back here. You got your question mark here in case you need any help as well. Let's see, things that I would probably want to point out. Well, number one is all skeleton, so that means you have there's no meat, there's no flesh, there's no muscle, so it's only you know, it's very bare bone. Get it? Pun intended. Anyways, so there's no hair, there's no muscular structure. It's kind of like your very basic, you know, just to get the pose and the muscles and everything, you just kind of do it yourself. To kind of move it, it's a little different from the Artpose, so you have all these arrows here. So you have to click the arrow and then just move it one side. You click the sternum and then you have to click the above arrow or this arrow here, or you can click to go the other side. So you have all these different things.
Hey fellow viewers, Elise here. Thank you for watching. If you're like me and you want rewards with a one-time payment, then check out my Patreon page. There are different rewards to choose from tutorials to PSD files, full-size image to recordings of my entire painting process. All you have to do is sign up in Patreon, add your payment information, go to my page and select which rewards you want to pledge. This helps me upgrade my equipment to dish out better videos and also help buy art supplies so I can do and demonstrate more art projects for you. Why not just have a look-see by clicking the Patreon logo or check out my other videos? That's all for today. Peace.